So we started reading this story last week, and I'm going to have you turn to your table mates. And when you have named the characters, the setting, and the problem, you're going to show me with your thumbs up that your group is ready to move on.
The problem is like they found a rock that has carved, and they want to observe it, but one of them has to observe it first.
Was there anything that they were either trying to solve or they were unhappy about?
They didn't want to go to their mom's friend's house, but they did.
But they did.
Because they had to, because mom had to go to work and dad was still working.
Who are the characters, Cisco?
Galya and Natasha.
Good job. Good pronunciation of their names. Those names were tricky because what kind of names are they? What country are they in?
Russia.
They're in Russia. Mom is going to work. I want Sergio to tell me, what job does Mom do?
She's an archaeologist.
Exactly. Mom's an archaeologist. Everybody snap the word. Archaeologist. Go.
Archaeologist.
And I want Anastasia to tell me, what does an archaeologist do?
They dig up bones.
Some of them dig up bones. Do all of them dig up bones?
No.
No. What is something else an archaeologist might do? Chanel, what else might they do?
They're like scientists and they discover stuff like they find petroglyphs on rocks and discover them.
They discover old things, don't they? And Chanel hit on my next vocabulary word perfectly, because Galya and Natasha's mom is a kind of archaeologist that studies what? Say it with me. Ready, go?
Petroglyphs.
Good. They study petroglyphs. I'm going to point to it. I say it, you say it. Ready? Ask. Imagine.
Imagine.
Plan.
Plan.
Create.
Create.
Improve.
Improve.
You're going to notice that this is a circle, and the arrows keep pointing to the next thing. It's not a line where we get to the end and we stop. They need to make a petroglyph. That's their problem that they need to solve. And they're going to use this process to solve it. Just really quick before we start reading, what are the three types of rocks? Cisco, what's one type of rock?
Igneous.
Igneous is like a volcano, and that's why it starts below the earth, and then it explodes. So one more time, everybody say igneous. Pedro, what's another type of rock? Sedimentary. So make your layers and say sedimentary.
Sedimentary.
All right, so there's that layer. Do you guys remember we talked about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and how they morph into something? When they morph into something, they change. Everybody say metamorphic.
Metamorphic.
Galya walked into the library and breathed deeply. Everybody take a deep breath. Finger back on those words. She wandered a while through the shelves until she finally rounded the corner into the section she wanted. What stage was Natasha on? Remember the part where she said, I wonder? What does wondering usually mean?
Ask.
It usually means ask. Galya read about the rock cycle, and she thought about igneous and sedimentary and metamorphic rock. And Natasha went, I remember my teacher teaching me about that. And at the end, what did Galya decide? She read about the rocks. She said, okay, and then what did she decide that she needed to do?
Go to the beach and find the rock that she was saying about.
So she decided that she needed to go to the beach and look at rocks like her sister. And what did Natasha decide she needed to do?
Read a book.
She decided she needed to read a book. So even though they approached it in different ways, they still knew that they needed to do both parts of that, huh? What job does Mila have?
Engineer.
She's an engineer. And what do engineers do?
People that make stuff for people so stuff to be much easier.
Good, Chanel. That's a really good definition. She said that they make stuff for people so their lives could be much easier. So Mila is an engineer. This week, you guys are going to be engineers. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes, and you're going to fill in the words. And then we're going to stop and go over it together.
I think ask because at the beginning where they were fighting over what kind of rock it was, Galya went to the library and she was getting ready. And after she read a couple books, she had some questions.
She had some questions, and it says right up there, you're figuring out what the problem is, huh? So she had some questions. So what was she doing? Asking. They carved their petroglyph, but it didn't look good enough, so what did they go back and do? They improved it. When Galya and Natasha thought about the different rocks they could use, what did your group come up with, Crystal? Imagine. Every time I think of thought, I think about using my brain, and when you imagine, you brainstorm and you think about all the different things you could do. Pedro, what did your group come up with for when they changed their design to make the carved lines clearer? Pedro's group is correct. Give me a thumbs up if your group got that answer too.
I think it's important for them to see kids like them doing engineering. The petroglyph was something that they could relate to, I feel like, because they were already interested in rocks, and it was maybe a seemingly small thing, but it made them feel like, oh, I can be an engineer just like them. And so when they saw somebody doing it in a story, I think it maybe made them accept the possibility that they too could do it.